Psalm 27 is more than just an ancient scripture. It's a timeless declaration that has the power to reshape how we approach life each day. We all face moments of doubt, moments when the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear. Challenges arise, uncertainties cloud our vision, and fear grips our hearts. It is in these moments that we often find ourselves searching for a source of strength, something to hold on to when everything else seems to be falling apart. Psalm 27 offers exactly that, a guiding light to navigate through the darkness. When you begin your day, you may feel overwhelmed by the pressures that await you. Whether it's work, relationships, personal struggles, or external challenges, the world often demands so much of us. But Psalm 27 presents a simple yet powerful truth, the assurance that we are not alone in this journey. It starts with the bold proclamation, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear?" These words carry a deep, unshakable confidence that, no matter the circumstance, the presence of a higher power is enough to overcome anything life throws your way. This is not just a religious concept, it's a mindset, a way of living that empowers us to take on the day with renewed strength and clarity. Imagine starting each morning not with anxiety, but with a declaration of faith and trust. Imagine stepping into the world knowing that you have a constant source of guidance, support, and protection. Psalm 27 gives us the blueprint for this approach. It shows us that by acknowledging and accepting the presence of something greater than ourselves, we align with a force that is both protective and empowering. What makes Psalm 27 so powerful is its universal relevance. It doesn't just speak to a specific time or group of people, it speaks to anyone who is willing to listen. It speaks to those who are ready to embrace the idea that despite the difficulties of life, there is a greater purpose and plan in motion. The beauty of this psalm lies in its simplicity. It does not offer elaborate rituals or complex philosophies. Instead, it offers a clear and direct message. Place your trust in something larger than your own fears and limitations, and you will find the strength to move forward. In the face of challenges, Psalm 27 calls us to look beyond what is immediately in front of us. It invites us to take a step back and gain perspective, recognizing that the obstacles we face are not insurmountable when we rely on faith and trust. Each verse serves as a reminder that fear does not have to control our actions or decisions. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? The psalmist does not say that fear will not come. Rather, they declare that fear will not dictate their response. This is the kind of power that can change your life. When you internalize this message, you are no longer a victim to fear. Instead, you become the victor, empowered to make decisions based on faith rather than fear. The power of Psalm 27 also lies in its call to seek. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. In this verse, the psalmist is not asking for material wealth or worldly success, but for the peace and wisdom that comes from being in constant communion with the divine. This is a powerful reminder that no matter how busy or complicated life becomes, the most important thing we can seek each day is a deeper connection to our own inner strength and purpose. When you seek that connection, you gain clarity. When you seek peace, you find it. When you seek guidance, it becomes available to you. Psalm 27 encourages us to begin each day with an intentional mindset, a mindset that says, I will not let the circumstances of my day dictate my attitude or my actions. Instead, I will start from a place of faith and trust. This shift in perspective has the potential to change not only the way we approach challenges, but the way we experience life itself. By applying the wisdom of Psalm 27, you can move through your day with a sense of purpose, resilience, and peace, knowing that you are guided and protected by a power that is greater than any fear or obstacle that stands in your way. This is not just an ancient text. It is a living, breathing truth that, when applied, can bring transformation to every area of your life. In those quiet moments of reflection, as you read and absorb the words of Psalm 27, allow it to change the way you view the world around you. Let it awaken a deep sense of trust and confidence within you. No matter what lies ahead in your day, know that you have within you the power to overcome, the strength to persevere, and the faith to carry you through. With Psalm 27 as your guide, you can truly transform the way you live starting today. Psalm 27 is a call to embrace courage, to rise above fear, and to trust in a higher power even in the midst of life's darkest moments. The psalmist speaks of the Lord as being their light and salvation, a powerful declaration that shifts the way we view fear. Fear, as we all know, is one of the greatest hindrances to progress. It keeps us locked in uncertainty and doubt, preventing us from making bold decisions and embracing opportunities. However, when we recognize the divine presence as our light and salvation, we understand that fear can no longer have dominion over us. It no longer dictates our actions, but rather serves as a signpost pointing us toward growth. The psalmist's declaration, "Whom shall I fear?" is not a statement of arrogance, but of confidence grounded in faith. It's a reminder that we do not have to face the unknown alone. No matter what trials or hardships lie ahead, there is a power that protects us, a force that walks with us through every valley and on every mountaintop. When we live with this understanding, our relationship with fear changes completely. Fear becomes not something to avoid, but something to acknowledge and move through. By facing our fears with faith, we build the muscle of courage. Just like any muscle, courage grows stronger the more we exercise it. Every challenge you encounter in life becomes an opportunity to strengthen your courage, because courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. The fear of failure, rejection, or judgment can often paralyze us into inaction. But when we trust that we are not walking this path alone, we begin to see fear for what it is, a temporary obstacle, not an insurmountable wall. Psalm 27 teaches us that the very thing we fear the most can become the very thing that propels us forward, as we trust in the divine protection and guidance that is always available to us. In those moments when you feel overwhelmed by fear, remember the powerful words of Psalm 27 and take action. Move forward with confidence, knowing that each step you take is accompanied by strength and support beyond your understanding. The transformative power of Psalm 27 lies not only in its ability to address fear, but also in its profound encouragement to seek the divine presence daily. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. This verse speaks to the heart of the human condition, a longing for connection, for meaning, for purpose. We are constantly seeking something to ground us, something to give our lives deeper meaning. And Psalm 27 makes it clear that the answer is not found in external achievements or material wealth. The answer lies in cultivating a deep, abiding relationship with the divine. This seeking is not a passive act. It is an active, intentional pursuit. It requires us to prioritize what truly matters, to focus on the things that bring lasting peace and fulfillment. The psalmist's plea to dwell in the house of the Lord is not about physical location, but about being in constant communion with the divine. It is a reminder that true peace does not come from external circumstances, but from an inner alignment with something greater than ourselves. As you begin your day, consider how you can seek that divine presence. Whether it's through quiet meditation, prayer, reflection, or simply being present in the moment, the act of seeking aligns you with a force that brings clarity and wisdom into your life. When we seek with intention, we open ourselves to the guidance and support that is always available to us. The divine presence becomes not a distant idea, but a tangible source of strength. It is this constant seeking, this daily devotion that equips us with the tools to navigate even the most difficult days. The more we seek, the more we find. The more we align ourselves with this higher power, the more we begin to experience peace, clarity, and purpose in our lives. The transformation begins when we intentionally seek, for in this seeking, we open the door to a life that is led with wisdom and unwavering strength. Psalm 27 encourages us to stand firm in the belief that we are not vulnerable in the face of adversity, but rather protected and strengthened by a force far greater than ourselves. The psalmist writes of the Lord as a stronghold, a place of refuge during times of trouble. When we look at the world around us, it is easy to feel vulnerable. The constant demands of life, the pressure to succeed, the fear of failure. All of these forces create a sense of instability. Yet, Psalm 27 shifts our focus from external vulnerability to internal strength. The concept of a stronghold is one of security, protection, and safety. A stronghold is not easily broken, and it provides a sense of refuge in times of danger. When we place our trust in something greater than ourselves, we build a spiritual stronghold that shields us from life's storms. This protection is not necessarily a shield from physical harm, but from the emotional, mental, and spiritual turmoil that can often accompany life's challenges. When we experience adversity, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, as if the world is closing in around us. But Psalm 27 reminds us that we are not alone in these moments. The divine presence is a stronghold that surrounds us, offering peace and assurance even in the midst of chaos. To fully embrace this protection, we must shift our mindset from one of fear and insecurity to one of faith and trust. This change in perspective allows us to face challenges with a sense of calm and resilience. Knowing that we are shielded by a higher power, we no longer need to fear the unknown or the difficult moments that lie ahead. Instead, we can face each day with the assurance that no matter what happens, we are always protected and guided. The protection described in Psalm 27 is not just physical, but emotional and spiritual. It is an unshakable shield that allows us to move through life with confidence and peace, knowing that we are never truly vulnerable when we trust in the divine stronghold that surrounds us. The importance of patience and waiting is a theme that runs deeply throughout Psalm 27. Offering a profound lesson for those who seek to navigate life's complexities with grace and purpose. In our fast-paced, instant gratification society, patience often feels like a forgotten virtue. We are conditioned to expect quick results, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal goals. Yet Psalm 27 challenges us to adopt a different mindset, one that embraces waiting not as a period of stagnation, but as an opportunity for growth and preparation. The psalmist writes, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." This call to wait is not passive but active. It requires strength, courage, and faith. Waiting in the context of Psalm 27 is not about sitting idly by or resigning oneself to fate. It is about trusting in the divine timing of life. The psalmist is not merely waiting for something to happen. They are actively waiting with anticipation and hope, believing that the Lord will deliver at the right moment. In this, there is a lesson about patience in our own lives. We often find ourselves frustrated or disheartened when things do not unfold according to our desired timeline. Yet this passage invites us to embrace a different perspective. It teaches us that there is wisdom in waiting, that the right outcomes will arrive when the time is right. The process of waiting builds character and resilience, and in the meantime, we are called to stay strong, to trust, and to prepare for the future with an open heart and mind. Patience requires faith in the unseen. It is easy to grow impatient when we cannot see the outcome or understand the purpose behind the delay. But Psalm 27 encourages us to trust that every moment of waiting has its purpose. The divine plan is often unfolding behind the scenes, and our job is to stay faithful and patient while we allow it to take shape. In waiting, we often learn more about ourselves, our desires, and our true purpose than we do in moments of immediate action. When we wait with a sense of trust and anticipation, we open ourselves to receive what is meant for us, rather than forcing outcomes before they are ready. This mindset of patience can transform how we approach challenges, reminding us that timing is everything. What may seem like a delay is often preparation for something far greater than we could have imagined. In addition to its teachings on patience, Psalm 27 also speaks to the importance of perseverance. It calls us to remain steadfast in our faith, even when life's difficulties seem overwhelming. "I am still confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living," says the psalmist. This statement is a testament to the power of perseverance, a reminder that no matter how tough life gets, we must continue to move forward with belief and hope. The psalmist does not promise that the journey will be easy, but they do promise that perseverance will lead to a greater understanding of the divine goodness in the world. The confidence expressed in these words is not born out of certainty in circumstances, but in the unshakable belief that the divine presence will always prevail. Perseverance is what allows us to overcome the trials and setbacks that inevitably arise. Life is rarely a smooth, uninterrupted path. We encounter obstacles, face rejection, experience loss, and deal with failure. But it is in these moments of challenge that our faith and perseverance are truly tested. Psalm 27 offers the reminder that the goodness of the Lord will be revealed, but it is up to us to remain faithful and steadfast in our journey. This perseverance is not about enduring without purpose. It's about enduring with faith, knowing that there is something greater at work. Each step, no matter how small or difficult, is leading us toward something significant. The psalmist's words serve as a call to keep moving forward, even when the path seems uncertain or daunting. Perseverance means continuing the journey despite the difficulties, trusting that with every step, we are getting closer to our true purpose. The power of perseverance is also linked to the concept of spiritual growth. As we persevere, we strengthen not only our external resolve, but also our inner character. Each challenge faced and overcome adds layers of wisdom, resilience, and strength to our spiritual journey. Through perseverance, we become more attuned to the divine presence in our lives, and our understanding of that presence deepens. The struggle itself becomes an essential part of the process, for it is in the fire of adversity that we are refined and made stronger. Perseverance, when guided by faith and trust, transforms us into more capable, compassionate, and wise individuals. In this way, Psalm 27 teaches us that the challenges we face are not meant to break us, but to shape us into the people we are meant to be. Psalm 27 holds an important lesson in how adversity can be transformed into opportunity. The psalmist acknowledges the presence of enemies, adversaries, and difficulties in life, but rather than seeing them as threats, they view them as opportunities for spiritual and personal growth. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. These powerful words convey a mindset that transcends mere survival and moves into the realm of thriving despite adversity. It is an invitation to shift how we perceive challenges, viewing them not as obstacles to avoid, but as opportunities for strength, wisdom, and character development. In life, we will all face difficult moments. Times when it seems like everything is going wrong, or when external forces threaten to overwhelm us. However, Psalm 27 teaches us that these moments are not merely to be endured, they are opportunities for growth. Adversity has the power to refine us, to help us shed old limitations, and rise to new levels of strength and resilience. Rather than seeing adversity as something to fear or avoid, we are encouraged to embrace it as a means of transformation. When we approach challenges with the mindset that they are opportunities for growth, we begin to see them in a completely different light. Instead of being victims of our circumstances, we become victors, able to rise above the adversity and grow stronger from the experience. This perspective is not about denying the reality of hardship, but rather about recognizing that hardship can be a catalyst for positive change. Each challenge we face provides an opportunity to learn something new about ourselves and the world around us. Adversity can bring out our hidden strengths, push us to develop new skills, and inspire us to take action in ways we never thought possible. Psalm 27 calls us to embrace these opportunities, to confront difficulties with confidence, and to trust that through every trial, we are becoming more of who we were meant to be. Rather than being crushed by adversity, we can allow it to shape and strengthen us, leading us to a place of greater wisdom, peace, and spiritual growth. As we conclude this journey through the powerful words of Psalm 27, we are reminded that each new day presents an opportunity to begin again, to approach life with a fresh perspective, and to align ourselves with the divine presence that guides and sustains us. Psalm 27 is not simply a passage to read or memorize, it is a way of life, a mindset that, when fully embraced, has the potential to change the trajectory of our days, our decisions, and our entire existence. Every morning is a new beginning, a chance to put into practice the wisdom that has been laid before us, and to start the day with purpose, strength, and confidence. The psalmist's call to seek, to trust, and to wait reminds us that life is not about rushing through each moment or chasing after fleeting distractions. Instead, it is about grounding ourselves in something eternal, something unshakable. The lessons of Psalm 27 challenge us to slow down, to be present, and to recognize that the answers we seek are not always found in external pursuits, but in the quiet moments of reflection, in the stillness where the divine presence resides. When we start our day with this awareness, everything changes. We approach our work with focus, our relationships with love, and our challenges with courage. Each action becomes infused with purpose and meaning, because we are no longer acting from a place of fear or uncertainty, but from a place of deep faith and trust. In starting each day with Psalm 27, we choose to anchor ourselves in the belief that no matter what happens, we are supported and protected by a force that is greater than ourselves. This knowledge brings with it a profound sense of peace and assurance, knowing that we are never alone. The trials and difficulties that we face are no longer burdens to bear, but opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become more aligned with our true selves. As we begin our day, we can walk forward with confidence, knowing that we are equipped with the strength, resilience, and wisdom needed to navigate whatever comes our way. And it is through this daily practice of faith, trust, and seeking the divine that we will find the courage to face each day with an open heart and a renewed sense of purpose. Psalm 27 is not just a set of words to recite, but a philosophy to live by, a foundation upon which we can build a life of peace, strength, and spiritual fulfillment. The decision to make Psalm 27 a part of your daily routine is a decision to change the way you approach life itself. It invites you to let go of fear and embrace courage, to trust in the process of waiting, and to seek the divine presence with an open heart. When you start your day in this way, you are setting the tone for everything that follows. No matter what obstacles arise, no matter how challenging the path may seem, you are grounded in the knowledge that you are not walking it alone. You are guided, protected, and empowered by something greater than yourself. Starting your day with Psalm 27 is an act of alignment, aligning your thoughts, your actions, and your heart with the divine wisdom and presence that transcends all. It is a reminder that each new day offers a fresh start, a new opportunity to live in faith and trust, and to navigate the world with purpose and grace. The more consistently you apply these principles to your life, the more your perspective will shift, your challenges will transform, and your heart will open to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. The final message of Psalm 27 is one of hope and victory. It assures us that no matter what the day holds, we are always moving towards something greater. The psalmist's unwavering confidence in the goodness of the Lord is a reflection of the trust that we too can have in the divine plan. Every challenge, every trial, every delay has its purpose. Through faith, patience, and perseverance, we grow stronger and closer to the truth of who we are meant to be. By incorporating this wisdom into the start of our day, we transform not only the moments we experience, but our entire lives. Each new beginning, every sunrise, is an invitation to step forward with courage, to seek the divine, and to trust that the path ahead is leading us to a life of fulfillment, purpose, and peace. Psalm 27 teaches us the importance of a deep, unwavering faith that transcends our immediate circumstances. When the psalmist declares that the Lord is my light and my salvation, they are making a statement that goes beyond mere words. It's a declaration of trust in a higher power. The power of this statement lies in its simplicity and profound depth. Light represents clarity, vision, and guidance, while salvation speaks to rescue, protection, and divine intervention. In the complexities of life, we are often confronted with challenges that feel overwhelming, making it difficult to see the way forward. During such times, it can feel as if we are stumbling in the dark, uncertain of what direction to take. Yet when we remind ourselves that the Lord is our light and salvation, we recognize that we do not have to rely solely on our own understanding or strength. Instead, we can trust that divine guidance will illuminate our path even when we cannot see the way clearly. This trust in divine direction is essential for overcoming life's obstacles with grace and confidence. This understanding of faith in Psalm 27 invites us to reframe our perspective on life's trials. Challenges are not just obstacles but opportunities for deeper reliance on a source of strength beyond ourselves. This shift in mindset allows us to view difficulties as chances to grow in faith, patience, and resilience. The psalmist's confidence in the Lord's protection speaks to a larger truth, that no matter what we face, we are never truly alone. In every moment of uncertainty or fear, we can choose to trust in a force that is greater than any difficulty we encounter. This choice to lean on something more substantial than our own fears or doubts is an act of deep faith, one that can transform how we experience every trial. Psalm 27 does not suggest that challenges will disappear, but rather that we will face them with a sense of inner security, knowing that we are not walking through them alone. This awareness alone can give us the courage and strength to move forward, even when the road ahead is unclear. Psalm 27 further emphasizes the importance of inner strength, especially during times of adversity. The verse, "The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid?" is a powerful reminder that our strength does not come from our external circumstances, but from our internal connection to the divine. Life's challenges often make us feel vulnerable, and it is easy to become consumed by the fear of failure, loss, or uncertainty. However, Psalm 27 teaches us that true strength lies in the awareness that we are always supported by a higher power. When we acknowledge the Lord as our stronghold, we shift from relying on fleeting external sources of strength to tapping into a deeper, more stable foundation. This realization provides a profound sense of security and invincibility, not because we are immune to life's difficulties, but because we know that the divine presence is our unshakable refuge. What makes this perspective so powerful is that it encourages us to redefine what it means to be strong. Strength is not the absence of fear or difficulty, but the ability to stand firm in the face of them. When we recognize that the divine presence is our stronghold, we understand that we are equipped to handle whatever comes our way. Fear, once a crippling force, begins to lose its power. Instead of being overwhelmed by challenges, we approach them with confidence, knowing that we are anchored in something far more reliable than the fleeting and unpredictable nature of life's external circumstances. The more we internalize this truth, the more naturally we approach obstacles with resilience and calm, trusting that we are being guided and supported every step of the way. Psalm 27 also speaks to the importance of a deeper connection with the divine. The psalmist expresses a longing to dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. This statement is not simply about being in a physical place of worship, but about establishing an ongoing, intimate relationship with the divine. To dwell in the house of the Lord is to seek constant communion with the divine presence, to make it the center of our lives. It is a reminder that our connection with something greater than ourselves is not just a once-in-a-while experience, but a daily practice. This verse encourages us to cultivate a lifestyle of faith, where our daily actions, decisions, and thoughts are rooted in the presence of the divine. When we begin each day with this intention, we shift from simply living our lives with the occasional thought of the divine to making it a constant source of guidance, wisdom, and comfort. The house of the Lord symbolizes a place of peace, security, and alignment with a higher purpose. By seeking this presence daily, we invite peace into our hearts and clarity into our minds. This practice allows us to remain grounded, even when external circumstances may seem overwhelming. The more we seek to dwell in the house of the Lord, the more our lives begin to reflect the strength, love, and wisdom that come from being in constant connection with the divine. Psalm 27 offers a powerful invitation to reorder our priorities. Instead of seeking success, wealth, or external validation, the psalmist teaches us to seek the divine presence first and foremost. One thing I ask of the Lord, they say, this is what I seek. This prioritization of spiritual connection over material pursuits is a reminder that the true sources of fulfillment and peace come from within, not from external achievements. In our fast-paced world, it is easy to become distracted by the pursuit of material wealth or status. Yet Psalm 27 redirects our attention to the eternal, to that which is truly life-changing and transformative. By seeking the divine above all else, we align ourselves with a source of wisdom and peace that transcends anything the world can offer. This focus on seeking the divine first allows us to approach life with greater clarity and purpose. When we make spiritual growth and connection our highest priority, we gain a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Our lives become more centered and balanced, no longer defined by the pursuit of external rewards, but by our relationship with the divine. The wisdom and guidance that come from this connection enable us to navigate life with more grace and resilience. Instead of chasing after fleeting achievements, we begin to experience the joy and fulfillment that come from aligning with our true purpose and living in harmony with the divine plan. In this way, Psalm 27 invites us to change not just the way we begin our day, but the way we approach life itself, with faith, trust, and a deep sense of spiritual purpose. Psalm 27 also holds a powerful lesson on the value of perseverance in the face of adversity. In a world that often values quick fixes and instant results, the psalmist's words remind us that endurance and steady commitment are key to overcoming life's greatest challenges. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me, the psalmist declares, emphasizing that even in the most painful or isolating moments, there is a higher, constant source of support and love. The psalmist acknowledges that human relationships can sometimes fail us, whether due to misunderstanding, abandonment, or circumstance, but the divine presence is unwavering. This is an essential truth to hold on to when facing difficulties in life. Our external relationships may falter, but the bond between us and the divine is unbreakable. The message here is not to devalue human relationships, but to emphasize the importance of a foundational relationship with the divine that will always be there when others may not. This divine relationship is what offers us the strength to persevere, especially when we feel alone or unsupported. The key to perseverance is not just about enduring for the sake of enduring, but about trusting that there is a purpose in every season, even in the most difficult of times. The psalmist's unwavering faith in the Lord's faithfulness provides a model for how to live through life's challenges with a heart full of hope. When we trust in this divine relationship, we are empowered to keep going, even when the journey seems long and uncertain. In these moments, we can draw strength from the certainty that we are never truly forsaken. Our perseverance is fueled by the understanding that we are always supported by a higher power. This idea of enduring with faith ties into the larger theme of trusting in the divine plan, regardless of what we can see or understand in the present moment. Often we find ourselves questioning why certain things happen, why we must go through pain, loss, or hardship. Psalm 27 encourages us to trust in God's timing and plan, to believe that every challenge has a purpose, even if we do not yet see it. This trust builds resilience as it allows us to endure with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that the difficulties we face are not the end, but part of a larger, more meaningful journey. Through perseverance, we grow in character and strength, and, in the end, we are transformed. This transformation is often revealed in hindsight, when we look back and see how each trial shaped us into stronger, more compassionate individuals. Psalm 27 teaches us that perseverance is not only about holding on, but about holding on with faith that something greater awaits us on the other side. A critical lesson of Psalm 27 is learning how to cultivate an unwavering trust in divine protection and guidance. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? This question is posed not out of arrogance, but out of a deep understanding of divine security. It invites us to reflect on the ways in which we place our trust in external forces, like our own abilities, other people, or material possessions, for our sense of security. While these things can offer temporary comfort or success, Psalm 27 makes it clear that ultimate protection and salvation come from the divine. The message here is clear. No matter how daunting the challenges we face may seem, we can always find solace in the knowledge that we are never truly alone, as divine protection is always available to us. This divine protection is not only physical, but emotional and spiritual as well. In times of hardship, it is easy to feel overwhelmed by fear or anxiety. We may feel like we are standing alone against a great tide, struggling to stay afloat. Yet Psalm 27 reminds us that our true strength lies not in our ability to fight our battles alone, but in our ability to trust that the divine is walking with us through every storm. This belief in divine protection allows us to navigate the challenges of life with greater peace and courage, knowing that we are being guided towards safety and resolution. Instead of becoming paralyzed by fear or worry, we are encouraged to face life's challenges with confidence, grounded in the knowledge that divine protection surrounds us at all times. The importance of divine protection also ties into the concept of spiritual strength. This strength is not born from physical prowess or mental toughness alone, but from a deep, abiding connection with the divine. By recognizing that our protection comes from a source greater than ourselves, we are free from the anxiety of trying to control every outcome. We can let go of the need for perfection and control, trusting that the divine presence will guide us exactly where we need to go. In this way, Psalm 27 teaches us that true strength lies not in our individual abilities, but in our relationship with the divine. It is through this relationship that we are empowered to face life's challenges with grace, confidence, and a deep sense of security. Psalm 27 also brings attention to the importance of seeking divine wisdom, particularly when faced with difficult decisions. Teach me your way, Lord. Lead me in a straight path because of my oppressors, the psalmist asks, acknowledging that true guidance comes from divine insight rather than human understanding. This request for wisdom speaks to the times when we feel confused, lost, or unsure of what direction to take in life. Life is full of choices, and sometimes it's hard to know what the right path is. In these moments, Psalm 27 encourages us to seek the Lord's wisdom above all else. It teaches us that when we are uncertain or in the midst of turmoil, the guidance we need is not found in our own limited perspective, but in divine insight. The act of seeking divine wisdom is an invitation to surrender our need for control and to trust that a higher power knows what is best for us. It is a humble recognition that, in many circumstances, we do not have all the answers, and that we are better off trusting in divine wisdom to guide our steps. This wisdom is not always instantaneous, and it may not come in the form we expect, but when we seek with an open heart, we will be led in the right direction. The clarity we seek often comes when we stop trying to figure everything out on our own, and instead lean into the divine presence for guidance. Psalm 27 assures us that when we seek this wisdom, we are being led toward the path that is right for us, a path that will bring us peace, fulfillment, and spiritual growth. Psalm 27 also offers profound insight into the importance of cultivating a spirit of gratitude, which has the power to transform our perspective on life. The psalmist's declaration, "I will sing and make music to the Lord," speaks not just of praise, but of a deep, heartfelt acknowledgement of the blessings and grace that surround us. Gratitude is not merely a response to external circumstances, but a deliberate choice to recognize the abundance of life, even in the midst of challenges. In the face of hardship, it is easy to focus on what we lack or what is going wrong. But Psalm 27 reminds us that by shifting our focus toward gratitude, we can transform our experience. This shift doesn't negate the reality of pain or difficulty, but it allows us to remain grounded in the understanding that there is always something to be thankful for, no matter how small it may seem. The act of giving thanks is more than just an expression of appreciation. It is an affirmation of faith. By thanking the divine for what we have, we reaffirm our trust in the goodness of life, even when circumstances are challenging. Gratitude helps us to see the silver lining, even in the darkest clouds, and to recognize the lessons and growth that come from facing adversity. It aligns us with a higher frequency, one that invites more blessings into our lives. When we choose to cultivate gratitude, we open ourselves up to experiencing more joy and peace, because we are no longer consumed by the negative aspects of our situation. Instead, we focus on the goodness that still exists, even in the midst of struggle. The psalmist's act of singing and making music is an expression of this gratitude, a reminder that praise and thankfulness can elevate our spirits and connect us to a deeper sense of divine presence. Moreover, gratitude has the power to shift our focus from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. It encourages us to see what we have rather than what we lack. In a world that often tells us we need more success, more money, more validation, it is easy to fall into the trap of constantly striving for what we do not yet possess. But Psalm 27 invites us to take a step back and recognize the gifts that are already present in our lives. When we do so, we begin to see that life is not about accumulation, but about appreciating what we already have and finding fulfillment in the present moment. Gratitude teaches us that the fullness of life is not measured by external achievements, but by our ability to appreciate and be present with the blessings we already hold. This shift in mindset is life-changing, as it frees us from the constant pursuit of more and instead opens our eyes to the beauty and abundance of the present. Another critical lesson from Psalm 27 is the importance of trusting in divine timing. The psalmist's statement, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord," encapsulates a powerful truth. Sometimes the most powerful action we can take is to wait. In a society that glorifies speed and immediate gratification, waiting can feel like an uncomfortable and frustrating experience. We often feel pressured to act quickly, to make decisions hastily, or to push forward even when it doesn't feel right. Yet Psalm 27 teaches us that there is strength in waiting, that patience can be a powerful tool for growth and clarity. Waiting doesn't mean being passive. Rather, it means trusting that divine timing is at work, and that in moments of pause, we are being prepared for what is next. In the waiting, we learn to trust not only in the timing of the universe, but in the perfect unfolding of our lives. The psalmist encourages us to take heart during these times, to stand strong, and to remain confident that the right opportunities and answers will come when the time is right. Waiting requires faith, patience, and the courage to resist the urge to rush. It is in these moments of stillness that we often receive the most clarity, as we allow the divine to guide us without interference from our own rush or anxiety. This can be one of the hardest lessons to learn, but it is also one of the most liberating. Trusting in divine timing helps us let go of the need to control every outcome, allowing us to relax and embrace the flow of life as it unfolds. Furthermore, the strength we gain through waiting is not just about passive endurance, but about active faith. Waiting is a form of strength because it shows our trust in a process that is larger than ourselves. We are called to wait not because we are powerless, but because there is a higher wisdom at work that knows better than we do. Waiting with patience doesn't mean we are sitting idly by. It means we are allowing ourselves to be shaped and molded for the next phase of our journey. When we choose to trust in the timing of the Lord, we develop a deeper understanding that every moment has its purpose, and every delay serves to prepare us for what is to come. The peace that comes with this understanding is profound, as it frees us from the anxiety of feeling like we must have everything figured out right now. Instead, we learn to trust that the right answers, opportunities, and solutions will come in the perfect time. The emphasis on divine protection and trust in Psalm 27 offers us a profound sense of security, no matter what happens in life. The psalmist's powerful words, "Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident," express an unshakable belief in divine provision and protection. This kind of confidence is not born from external circumstances, but from an inner knowing that the divine will always provide a way, no matter how difficult the situation may seem. It is easy to become fearful when facing challenges, especially when we feel threatened by external forces. Whether it's a financial struggle, a health issue, or relational conflict, fear can easily creep in. However, Psalm 27 calls us to rise above this fear and place our trust in the divine as our true source of security. This trust in divine protection is a source of strength, as it allows us to move through life with greater peace, even in the face of adversity. The psalmist's unwavering confidence shows us that fear can be overcome when we trust in a force greater than ourselves. This doesn't mean that fear will never arise, but it means that fear does not have to control us. Instead of allowing fear to dictate our actions, we can choose to act with confidence, grounded in the belief that we are protected and guided by the divine. The assurance that the Lord will never abandon us allows us to move through life with a sense of peace and courage, knowing that we are always being watched over and cared for. It is this deep trust that enables us to face the battles of life with strength, knowing that we are not fighting alone. Psalm 27 also teaches us about the power of spiritual focus and the importance of setting our sights on what truly matters in life. The psalmist's desire to seek the face of the Lord demonstrates a deep longing to connect with the divine on a personal level. This pursuit is not about seeking material rewards or fleeting pleasures, but about focusing on a relationship with the divine that transcends earthly desires. The idea of seeking the face of the Lord invites us to prioritize our spiritual growth above all else. In a world filled with distractions, this spiritual focus serves as a reminder that the most meaningful fulfillment comes not from external accomplishments or possessions, but from a deeper connection to our higher purpose. When we seek the face of the Lord, we are intentionally choosing to align our hearts and minds with the divine will. This act of seeking is not passive. It requires active participation in the process of spiritual growth. It means tuning out the noise of the world and directing our energy toward what truly nourishes our souls. This could be through prayer, meditation, reading sacred texts, or engaging in acts of service. The more we focus on the divine, the more we begin to reflect divine qualities in our lives. By seeking the face of the Lord, we are inviting divine wisdom, love, and peace into our hearts, which transforms the way we interact with the world around us. Spiritual focus also helps us to keep our priorities in check. It reminds us that while the world may encourage us to pursue wealth, fame, or status, these things are fleeting and often lead to a sense of emptiness. The psalmist, by contrast, is clear that the greatest pursuit is to seek a relationship with the divine. This focus shifts our perception of success from external achievements to internal peace and alignment. When we prioritize our relationship with the divine, we begin to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment, one that cannot be shaken by the ups and downs of life. Seeking the face of the Lord is a reminder that true success is not about what we accumulate, but about the depth of our connection with the divine and the peace that flows from it. In the process of seeking the divine, we also find guidance. Psalm 27 feats. Focus on the face of the Lord symbolizes an invitation to not only seek God's presence, but also to trust in the direction that divine wisdom provides. When we center our lives around this spiritual focus, we open ourselves to receiving the clarity we need to make wise decisions. This guidance often comes in subtle forms, perhaps in the quiet moments of reflection, in the words of a mentor, or in the deep knowing that arises when we align our hearts with the divine will. By consistently seeking God's face, we learn to discern the path we are meant to walk, allowing us to move through life with purpose and confidence. This guidance is not always immediate, but when we remain open and attentive, we begin to see how the divine leads us step by step toward fulfillment and growth. Psalm 27 also speaks to the power of inner peace, even amidst external chaos. The psalmist's confidence in the Lord's protection, in the day of trouble he will keep me safe in his dwelling, reminds us that true peace does not depend on our external circumstances. It is easy to assume that peace comes from the absence of conflict or difficulty. However, Psalm 27 reveals that peace is a state of being that comes from trusting in the divine presence, regardless of what is happening around us. This kind of peace allows us to remain calm in the face of turmoil, knowing that we are anchored in something unshakable and eternal. When we internalize this truth, we learn to access peace even in the midst of chaos. Instead of being swept up in the stress, fear, or anxiety that can arise from life's challenges, we begin to develop a deeper sense of inner calm. This peace does not come from avoiding difficulties, but from trusting that the divine is always with us, providing comfort, guidance, and protection. It is a peace that transcends external events and is rooted in a deeper understanding of our spiritual connection. As we cultivate this inner peace, we learn to respond to challenges with a sense of calm and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or stress. This allows us to navigate life with grace, knowing that the divine is our constant source of strength and stability. The peace described in Psalm 27 is also a peace that empowers us to act with courage. When we are grounded in the assurance that we are divinely protected, we can move through life with confidence, even when faced with difficult decisions or situations. This peace doesn't eliminate fear or uncertainty, but it provides the strength to face those challenges with a calm heart and a clear mind. It encourages us to step forward in faith, trusting that the divine presence is guiding us every step of the way. In this way, Psalm 27 teaches us that peace is not just a feeling, but a powerful force that enables us to face life's difficulties with resilience and courage. Furthermore, this inner peace allows us to cultivate compassion and kindness in our interactions with others. When we are at peace within ourselves, we are more able to extend that peace to those around us. We become less reactive to the negative energy of others and more able to respond with understanding and empathy. This creates an environment of calm and harmony, where the divine presence can be reflected through our actions. Psalm 27 invites us to embody this peace in every area of our lives, creating a ripple effect that not only transforms our own hearts, but also impacts the world around us. Through peace, we not only find strength, but also become instruments of peace for others. Psalm 27 further emphasizes the importance of perseverance in our spiritual journey. The psalmist's powerful declaration, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart," serves as a reminder that spiritual growth is not always immediate. Just as in any other area of life, progress on the spiritual path requires patience, endurance, and unwavering faith. The psalmist's call to wait is not a passive act of idleness, but an active choice to trust that divine timing will unfold everything at the right moment. Waiting, in this sense, becomes an exercise of deep trust in the process of life, in divine wisdom, and in the belief that everything is happening for a reason, even when it is not. Immediately clear to us, waiting also teaches us the value of timing. In many aspects of life, we can become impatient for results or eager to move forward with our plans. However, Psalm 27 reminds us that the divine knows what is best for us, and that we must trust in the timing of our journey. Some doors may open more slowly than we wish, or certain goals may take longer to achieve. But through patience and perseverance, we learn that everything unfolds in its perfect time, and that rushing ahead without full readiness may hinder our growth or lead to unnecessary struggles. In times of waiting, we are given the opportunity to prepare ourselves spiritually, emotionally, and mentally for what is to come. We can use these moments to deepen our connection with the divine, strengthen our faith, and cultivate the resilience needed for the next phase of our journey. Perseverance also strengthens our character. The more we wait with faith, the more we develop qualities such as patience, humility, and trust.